Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Today is March 2nd, 2021, noon San Francisco time. Good morning, all. We have 9 people watching, and today's topic is going to be random. So questions and answer session. Okay, you ask, I answer, and otherwise, I'm just going to go random, and I'm gonna talk about I'm going to go through my Emacs blog, my keyboard blog, my programming blog, my math blog, and see whatever is interesting I've done in the past month or two. So first of all, there is this interesting artwork, the background of today's video. Am I alive? Yes. Check. Everything check. Okay, the background of today's video is this one, Splinter Art. This is Splinter's art. This is a fantastic artwork. Some artwork, they have meaning, and this is one such example. This one in particular, I just found it randomly a year or two ago. And apparently it's a illustration to horror stories. Okay, so it's an illustration to horror stories. So you can see kind of and it's kind of abstract, and it does illustrate illustration to horror stories, but it's a bit more than that. Okay, so very interesting. That's today's artwork. Now, who is the artist? I do not know. And okay, so there is a research job now. Now you guys go and look, to find out who is the artist for this one. That would be interesting. I think I love this one. It's a fantastic illustration. The power of communicative art. Good morning, guys. Mark. Good morning, Mark Olenek. Good morning, Pedro Morales. Hi, can you please talk about Emacs setup on Windows? Min GW. Okay, so let me tell you something about that. Again, I have a bit cross-eyed. That's why I put this patch on since I was young. It's minor. You may not notice it, but basically because my glasses are bad, I need to get new glasses. This one is for nearsightedness. One is for old age, for looking at things close. Good morning. So again, ask questions. Okay, post questions. I'm gonna talk about that. Otherwise, I'm going to go random. So the first question is about Emacs setup on Windows. Okay. Now, first of all, so so you can see on the pink window is all my Emacs command calls. I'm using Xafly keys, and I'm using XHTML mod. Everything is kind of custom, and I can magnify you see every time I call a command or key stroke, you can see the keystroke, and you can also see the command name on the pink window. Okay, and that command is xas.command log. Okay, you can find it on my init. Let's magnify. So xas.command log, that's a command. That's a wrapper to. So here is my own command. It's a wrapper to this package, command log mod.el, which is on Melpa. On Melpa or maybe Alpa, I forgot. But anyway, you can find it easily. And the thing about that package is written, it's got some it's not perfect. Okay, let's just say it's not perfect. So in order to start this mod, you have to run a command to start the buffer, a special buffer. Then you have to run another command, things like that. A bit not intuitive. So therefore, I wrote this wrapper just to start everything. Like the pink window you see. Okay, and you can find this on my GitHub, Sadi GitHub Emacs init. The file name for this one is this one, xa Emacs miscellaneous. Okay. So here we are in diet. I want to delete those backups. Press a key gun. Okay, close that. So the question is, how do you set up Emacs init on Windows? Now, Emacs init files are basically operating system agnostic. Okay, so it doesn't matter on Windows or on Linux or on. Let me show you. Okay, so here is my Okay, here is my, okay, well, I don't want to, okay, wait, uh, hide, diet, hide, or what, let's show again. I want to hide the, I want to hide the, what's the diet hide details mod, okay, diet hide details mod. So here are my Emacs init. So Emacs init doesn't depend on operating systems. Basically on Windows, on Mac, on Linux, it's all the same, and for me as well. Now, of course, there are some things you need to specialize, such as font, for example. So let's go to my settings, okay? Settings. Now, this file settings contains the most basic Emacs init that does not require any packages. It's just plain GNU Emacs. Okay, oops. So this file, let's open it. So here you are looking at my settings file. So you can see settings. First of all, I set up the the toolbars. Remove the toolbar. So you see, if it's on Windows, on one of my Windows machine, then remove the toolbar, remove the set the background color, then width and height of the window. For example, I can open a new window. There's a default width and height. Okay, so but if I'm on another machine, this XPC, which is another Windows, which has a kind of laptop screen, is my Surface tablet, Microsoft Surface. So the width and height is smaller, because otherwise you're gonna go over your screen. So that's a little bit differences for different machines, but in general it's the same. Okay, so I'm talking about in general it's the same. Doesn't matter which operating system, but there are few things you want to set, such as the default width and height of the frame, the window, and font. Okay, so here is the settings for font, because on Mac and Windows and Linux, they each have different fonts set come with a system. So for example, if I'm on Windows, then I want the default font to be Consolas. Okay, Consolas is the default, basically the best monospace font that comes with Microsoft Windows, Consolas. So you are looking at Consolas right now. And on the Mac, the best one default that come with the Mac is Menlo 6, and also you need to set the size, because depends on your screen. The monitors, the display differ a lot these days. Some has very high density, some has smaller or larger, different. So you need to specify the font size, otherwise it's too small or too big. And on Windows, and on Linux, the most general purpose greatest font that contains the most Unicode characters, such as math symbols. I'm not talking about emoji, but also including emoji. For example, if you are a scientist or engineer, you use a lot of math symbols or stuff, you want deja vus. Okay, so on it also come with Linux. So you see, font is one of the things you might want to set if you are on different operating system. And here is the settings for emoji. That's also depending on whether you use a lot of emoji or not. And basically this, and also set font for Chinese. If you are typing Chinese, for example, let's see Chinese blog. Let's see my Chinese blog. Okay, so I have a Chinese blog. So I do type Chinese, for example, I can open, for example, you are looking at my Emacs Chinese blog. Okay, so you can type Chinese. So if you do use Chinese, then you might want to set up that. Okay, so font is one thing you want to set depending on operating system or the machine or the monitor size. Font size, and Windows height and width. Okay, that's a primary thing, and basically everything else is the same. But however, if you are on Windows, there are more things to set. If you are on Windows, let me look at the comments. Okay, keep the comments coming. Okay, whatever questions you have, type it. I'll get to it. So one of the things on Windows is that Emacs depends on about 5 or so Unix commands, and what they depend on, I can tell you. Okay, so Emacs depends on few Unix commands. So let's go to TalkShow. Okay, so go to TalkShow, magnify, open this page. So the first question is talk about Emacs init for Windows. Okay, and the thing you want to do, usually it's not dependent on OS, but you want to set up font and default window width and height. That's the two things you want. And on Windows, on Windows, Emacs depends on few Unix commands. I'm not going to type. Okay, so the commands are. Now this is actually a flaw of Emacs. Now the commands Emacs depends on are find, grep. That's the two most used command, and diff. Let's see what else. That's it. Okay. Now these three. Let me do these so you can see how fancy I get. Okay, so you see. And you see the power of XR HTML mod. Now show in browser, magnify. Okay, now hold on. Get back to Emacs or one single key operation. Comment that out. Show in browser, so you can see. We have typed what I was talking. So Emacs on Windows, Emacs depends on this Unix command. And it's a design flaw because find and grep, for example, grep means search a file. For example, I want to search my current directory, XR directory, of all the words that contain, let's say, Haskell. Okay, because I love to make fun of Haskell. So I can call a command Haskell and type this directory or HTML files, and you can see here are the results. Let's magnify. Okay, so I can press arrow keys to go to it, and XR and I can press up down arrow to go among the files. You see, and I put a cursor on one of these arrow key, type enter, then it opens that file, and you can see Haskell is mentioned there. So this is, by the way, I'm using this module. Okay, I mean the package I used, xrfind-text.el. You can xrfind.el. It's on Mailpath. Okay, so I'm using my own command, but in general, when you want to search, find, and replace, and grep, Emacs requires you to have the Unix command grep installed. And sometimes in diet, you also some diet operations requires you to have the Unix find command. So on Windows, you don't have that. So what do you do? So there are several solutions. You can install them. Today you can install them via Choco. Okay, so let me tell you the story. Okay, I want to finish this topic quickly because we have lots of other things. Correct? Am I correct? Are there other questions? Okay, hold on a second. Let me read the questions. Tell us please about your math self-study. Okay, routine. Okay, I'll answer that. Are you the Jimmy guy or Mark Olenek? Are you the Jimmy guy? Winnie, hi Winnie. Are you using the official Emacs binary? Yes. Yes, I'm using the official Emacs binary. Actually, I better put this on because I see better. Yes, I'm using official Emacs binary, GNU Emacs on Windows. So I'm using plain Emacs with my own packages. Basically, I don't use much others. I'm getting sick of Windows 10. Almost switching to Linux. You have experience with Linux, of course. You haven't watched my videos. I have Linux experience since 1999. What do you have paper on the eye? So that's my cross eye I talked about in my last two videos. So I see better this way because of my old cross eye. Yes. Hey, good morning, Cortez. Your video on this kind of logistics on Emacs are really Good. Okay, thank you, Alfonso. But John says Source Code Pro is also a good font for me. Okay, yeah, when it comes to font, lots of nerds, programmers, they all have opinions. I don't mean to attack you, but I talked about on one episode. I talked about font. Actually, I despise the font obsession. That's one of the obsession among nerds. Programmers. They'll talk about and they're obsessed about font and kerning and and every 5 years there are new fonts coming up. They say why is this the best and so on. But anyway, I talked about that in one of my video. Just search for font in one of my video, you'll find it. Do I have Linum global? Of course. Just for a set of files. No, I have them globally. And not Linum. Okay, Linum is the old one, right? You know that. Uh, you know, lots of these questions. If you just search my website, you'll find it. For example, Ergo Emacs Linum. Okay, show line number mod. Okay, so in this page is full detailed explanation. So there's one command is global display line number mod. This is new, written in C, and this is new around 2018 Emacs 26. Okay, now Linum mod is the old hack, a hack that created in 2009 that tries to have the number lines on the column, but it's a hack, so it's extremely slow. When you have a file, if you open a file with, let's say, 5,000 lines, then it slows the Emacs buffer to a crawl. So you don't want Linum mod. Linum mod is deprecated. Okay, you want to use the display line number mod, or so look at this page. I explain in detail. Okay, so let me copy that. Make a link. Okay, so I want to go back to so the question now is how on Windows, how do you deal with Linux commands? Okay, so when long story. The last time I used Windows for 4 years is around 2009 to 2012. Okay, so I haven't been using Windows for 9 years. Now I'm back to Windows. I talked about which OS I use, several times in my past videos. But anyway, I haven't used Windows for about 8 years, so I'm back. Now, in the beginning, I was thinking, oh, I need to install. How do I solve the problem of installing Unix commands? Because I need them. Find, grep, diff. Basically, these three. Okay. I have an article essay that explains what you need, what the things you need exactly. It's all it's all on my website. Okay, there's a lot of things to read. So when I come back to Windows this year, 2 months ago, I was thinking, okay, should I use Sigwin? I have a few articles on tutorials on Sigwin. Sigwin is the classic, okay, the classic Unix kind of emulator or something like that. That's what I used for since year 1999. Okay, Sigwin is one solution. Then after 20 years, there are so many new solutions. Then there's MS. There's this one you just mentioned. What I forgot the name. What's the name? Am I getting boring? So ask questions, okay? Whatever questions, or any other thing. So I'll try to finish this topic quickly. Are you using a feature? Okay, where is the question? Oh, min GW. Yeah. So Sigwin is a classic. Then you have min MINGW. Okay, which is supposed to be lighter. So I used that for 3 years around 2008. WinGW. Okay, let me just I have tons of articles. Okay, so Sigwin essential install list. This is written in 2011, and not just that. Okay, so let's see. Let's open that. Almost on any topic, just search for Xali, then whatever the words, you'll find my articles on that. So here is a Sigwin Essential Install List. Why do I write this list? Why do I write this down? Because when I'm on new machine, Windows, for example, yeah, I want to, so I don't forget, I need to go through this, install these things, zip, first of all, install zip because, well, actually, you don't need zip because Windows actually can unzip. But however, zip is the command line zip is useful. So then you have to install bzip because lots of Unix, or XZ needs those. Then you open SSH for SSH, but things have changed. So yeah, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is back in, I wrote this in 2011, but today you have not Sigwin, you have WinGW, then you have Choco, which is which I recommend, which I'm using right now. So for example, I can let's see, PowerShell run as admin. Okay, so can I magnify the font? Fuck, how do I magnify the font size of Okay, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So for example, let's say Choco info find. Okay, Choco is a package management system for Windows, and it was created maybe 5 years ago or 10. So over the 20 years, lots of technology. So today you don't need to install Sigwin. You don't need to install GW. I don't. Okay, I don't. So this time I don't install them. And then so you can install Choco, and actually find is not the name. Okay, let's say grep. Okay, you see, so it found grep. So if you want to install grep, Choco install grep, enter it, will install that. Okay, so all the Unix commands you need, or SSH or whatever, you can use Choco to install it. It's very easy to do, painless. Okay, so I don't use Sigwin. I don't think you should neither because it's kind of too old. Okay, it's gonna be, as we progress, all technology, they are going away. And min GW I don't even use. I think I don't use neither. So I think it's also going away. So Choco is the thing you want. Okay. Now even with Choco, you see, I want to find, for example, I can install grep, but I also Emacs often needs find too. So the name for find package is find util, I think. So let's try again. Choco info find util. Zero package found. So I forgot. Maybe it's GNU find. Okay, find utils. Okay, find utils. Yeah, there it is. So you just run Choco install find utils, then you'll get the Unix find command. So I recommend Choco. Okay, now even we are progressing. Okay, no more Sigwin, no more MG, min GW. Then you have Choco, which is you need. But however, I don't even install find and grep anymore because I realized today PowerShell, PowerShell began like 15 years ago. Today is so powerful. So when I need Unix find ut and util or grep, PowerShell is actually much better. I talked about this in my last two videos. Okay, yeah, last video I think I talked for 20 minutes or something about PowerShell. PowerShell is far more powerful than all the Unix utils. So get to use PowerShell if you try to use PowerShell, learn PowerShell, and I have a tutorial for PowerShell. Just search for it. Okay, so let's go back. So Sigwin. So where is my Sigwin? Okay, so too many articles. Okay, so Sigwin. So for example, I have install Sigwin tutorial. Let's open them all. Install Sigwin tutorial, Unix tools on Windows, Sigwin versus VirtualBox. Then you have choice. You can also run Emacs within VirtualBox. How to install Linux on VirtualBox. Okay, then Linux setup. So let's copy that. I'm peddling my web pages. Okay, don't forget to donate. That's why I'm doing YouTube. So install Sigwin tutorial. Let's copy and paste it here so you can read. All these are written like 10 years ago, so they're getting old. So this VirtualBox, 2011 VirtualBox. Then how to install Linux on VirtualBox. All these are. This is 2012. Then Linux setup. Okay, this page is what I need to do when I'm on Linux. It kind of remind myself what all the settings I need to do. Okay, so my Linux setup. Then okay, and this page, how fast is running Perl in Sigwin or using NT file system on Linux? So the price you pay for layers and emulations. So one day in 2013, I had an issue. I want to know just how fast, just like, for example, if you need to run Perl or Python, okay, is it faster if you run the Perl, Python in Sigwin, or is it faster if you run Perl on Linux, but via NTFS? So why do you have a question? You have the question because suppose you have a dual boot, which was very common. You can boot to Linux or you can boot to Windows, and let's say Perl or Python is your main language. So you want to know, should you do dev on Windows, questions like that. So that's why you have questions. So I measured the time and stuff. So let's post that and press one key. Look at the pink window. Okay, so let's look at the pink window. So now I want to make them into a list. Okay, so Sigwin, let's mention Choc. Okay, Choco. Okay, WinGM, not GW. GW or GM? GW, I think. Sigwin. Okay. Then boom, show in browser. There it is. Here's a list. Okay, close that. Show line numbers. Okay, let's put that there. Show line numbers. Close that. Okay, Chinese block. Copy that. Put it here. Close that. Artwork. I already have that. Okay, so back to Emacs. Show in browser. All one single key press. You see what I'm doing? It's all one single finger. Okay, no code, no control. Oh fuck. And no 30%, 40% keyboards. Those are repetitive strain injury things. Okay, so okay, I'm going to talk about math. Okay, I'm going to talk about math. Let's let me migrate to math because I want to. Well, I guess because there's a question about math. So Choco is a great thing. You want to install Choco. There are alternatives. New people, they say, oh, something else is better. I'm sure it's better, but I haven't spent time. The thing is, you have to spend time to invest. There are better ones than Choco. My nerds friends, you guys told me, but I haven't take the time to study. Choco just worked fine for me. So Choco you want, but so you can use Choco to install grep find, or diff, what Emacs needs. But these days I don't even need them because first of all, I try to use Powershell. Okay, you can install a Powershell mod so you can run PowerShell within Emacs. I don't have it right now. I do have the mod, but wait, not the diet buffer. Okay, what did I just run? PowerShell. Let's see. So okay, so you do have a PowerShell. So let's see if that works. Okay, now it works. Okay, is a let me show you. Okay, so maybe you are not familiar with PowerShell. Is an alias to the command. Okay, let's see help. You can see alias. Is the alias to the command get children, and get children is also GCM. Okay, so you can type alias. Yeah, I need to be on. Anyway, so install PowerShell mod so you can run PowerShell within Emacs. Okay, now I'm going to and I have a PowerShell tutorial. Okay, let's go to it. PowerShell tutorial. I talked about this in last video at length. Okay, so you can study PowerShell. It's 10 times better than Unix stuff. Kill it, yes. Okay, so PowerShell. Okay, so you can install Choco on Windows for Emacs, but use PowerShell. PowerShell can replace most of it. And also, what about find and replace? For example, if in Emacs often you want to do grep or many Emacs command, they will actually implicitly call grep to work. If you don't have grep, it doesn't work. So what do you do? So in my case, use the xarfind command. Okay, xarfind.el. So just search for it, and you'll see there it is. GitHub xarfind. This is a find replace package or grep written entirely in Emacs Lisp. So with this, you don't need any commands in Emacs for find or find and replace anymore. That's what I use. I just did a demo, a few minutes ago. And here there's also explanation of why. Some people will say, "Oh my God, Xa, why are you using this? You should use grep, you should use silver, you should use." There are quite a few replacements over the past 10 years. Each one is supposed to be faster than the one before. I have a I have an article on those. Okay. So anyway, so grep, what's the name? I think one is named Silver. I think one, about every 5 years, there's a new one coming up. It's supposed to be faster than grep. But why do why do you write a pure Emacs Lisp version for it? Why don't you just hook up to AG, right? One of them, I think the latest one is called AG. And I even filed a bug report to the guy because he didn't have problems on the Mac a few years ago when it first came up. So anyway, so why do I write? Why do you do it in Emacs Lisp? Okay, Emacs Lisp is much more smaller, slower. But however, there are quite a few advantages. For example, it's Emacs Lisp, so it's 100% more integrated with Emacs than any of the other. When you call the grep command, outside of Emacs, external command. This is more integrated than any of them. Also, it uses the same regular expression syntax as Emacs Lisp, okay, as Emacs. So you don't suddenly you have to use the Unix, the Perl grep. Grep syntax is another story, very complex. I have like 20 articles on grep, including tutorials for Emacs Lisp, for Python, for Perl, for JavaScript. Just search for Xali JavaScript regular expression rejects. Xali Emacs Lisp rejects. Xali Python rejects. I have a complete documentation of regular expression in all these languages. Also, regular expression tutorials for all these languages, and also Golang. So the point of using xarfind.el, which is a pure Emacs Lisp find grep or find replace, is that it's fully integrated with Emacs, and it's also consistent with Emacs, the regular expression syntax. Now the last flaw, but it's slow. It's slow. The other ones, that's written in C or C++ or Rust, they are much faster than like 5 or 10 times faster. So why should you use find replace grep in Emacs Lisp, written in Emacs Lisp? Well, the reason is most of the time, I run this about every 2 or 3 days for the past 20 years on 6,000 files, 10,000 HTML files, because my website is static, so I have to do find replace all the time. Every 2-3 days I do that on 1,000 or so files. So I have a version in Python, in Perl, in Golang too, which I do use when I need speed. But most of the time, for 10,000 files, it's instant. The result is instant. For example, let's do one right now. Okay, so let's say I want to find the word Haskell. Okay, I want to find a word Haskell in. Let me show you. Okay, I want to find the word Haskell in or xali.info. Now xali.info is got, it's got 10,000 files. Okay, I'm not going to show it, but okay, so let's just do. So let me show you. Okay, let's do that. So type Pascal here, type Pascal, okay, in this direct, query, okay, Pascal, and in what directory, xar info, okay, enter, then all HTML files, right? Yeah, enter, then you wait, 10 seconds. Because when you run, for the first time, it's loading the files. Loading the files actually is the bottleneck. It's not the speed of the grep. Loading the file is the bottleneck. Once I do this once, if I do it again, it's gonna be within 1 second. So right now it's going through about 6,000 HTML files. Also, it has to filter out. It's only looking for HTML files. Otherwise, there are 30,000 files. Look, there is a result. Magnify. I can jump around. You can see the the scroll bar. There's lots of results. So let's shrink. So you can see. That's so it's fast. So let's close that. Okay, let's do it again, but this time I want to find all the words containing Perl. Okay, so this is what I do. Okay, let me show you. So look at the mini buffer. Okay, magnify. So I can just modify the word Perl here instead of answer each question. You see, find the word Perl in this directory, user xar web xar info, okay, or HTML files. Enter. Let's see how fast. Look, instantaneous, 1 second. So do you really need a grep that's written in Rust? No, you don't. Unless maybe you work for Google, where you have to replace 10 million files. Okay, so that is why you should use xar find.el. Okay. Okay, I talked for too long without looking at the questions. Let me go back to look at the questions. Okay, so where's my page? So the official page is this one. Okay, so let's paste that. Okay, delete and show in browser. There is my talk show page. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the so I think that answer the question about what you should do about when you about init files on Windows. Okay, Sigwin, I don't recommend. MinGW, I don't recommend. Choc, I recommend. You should get Choc. Then for integration of Emacs, you need find and grep. You can install find and grep via Choc and diff, or try to use PowerShell and use xar find. So you don't have those problems anymore. So this is what I do. I have because I was going to install. I was thinking, oh, I need, I was thinking, since I'm on Windows, actually I was thinking there's another solution that is Windows Linux, Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, that's another new tech. I was thinking I'm going to install that, but it turns out it seems like today I don't need to. I don't have a need for Unix commands anymore. PowerShell basically solves all the problems. Microsoft is gonna take over the world, take over Linux. It's such a sad story with open source. Such a sad story. Okay, I talked about. Okay, now maybe I can talk about math. Now I've been talking for Jesus. I already talked for 40 minutes. That's like almost the end of today. My God. Okay, so that's just about Emacs init. Okay, so let's see what other questions. Okay, let me answer about math. Okay, so okay, that actually I can talk about math for another half an hour. So there's a math question. Tell us please about your math self-study routine and what your favorite topics. Okay. Okay, let me read. Break. Let me read. So does that answer the question about Emacs init on Windows? Who asked that? Oh yeah, Mark. Okay, Mark. Break the loop. Break the loop. Good morning. I have a theory out of my ass that the common Emacs control key combinations contributes to carpal tunnel. Users like Emily have chosen to use Emacs with Vim controls. Yes, yes, of course. What do you think of my theory that Emacs control key contributes to wrist? Yes, of course. That's also that's also my claim. Emacs is the worst of all software. Emacs is the most responsible of human history, all software in human history. Emacs is got the key binding default key binding contributed to repetitive strain injury the most. Okay, break the loop. So of course I don't use Emacs control. I use stuff like keys. Haven't you watched my videos enough? I use stuff like keys. I showed that too often. Okay. Hi Windows 10. I think you can install Ubuntu Mind via MS Store. Okay, I don't know what's that. Another nice solution is M632, which is MGW based. Yeah, but also wraps up in a nice package. Okay. Why are you pirate? Huh? What do you think about this? The happy hacking. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm curious to hear about your self-study math. Okay, let's talk about math. Break the loop, remat caps lock. Don't you three finger salutes? You have two hands on the keyboard at once. You type modify with one hand. Winnie. Well, the thing about modifier, I mean, I talked about this too many times. So you guys go watch my videos, okay? Go watch my videos studiously. I talked about this too many times. Key code should be ideally ban them completely. Not as try not to avoid any key code at all. No Control C, no Control V, no old meta, nothing. No key codes at all. That's the ideal situation, ideal solution. However, because of tradition, because of convention, because of keyboard, you cannot completely get rid of the key codes. Therefore, but you can try to avoid them. So my recommendation is to get rid of key code at all. Buy a keyboard macro. Yeah, okay. Go buy my stuff. Okay, donate and go buy my stuff. Okay, my keyboard blog it has all the information you need. There are 500 articles on keyboard, key binding, and all the stuff. Okay, and this, by the way, this is the latest do-it-yourself. This is fantastic. It's got a ink screen. Ink technology. This is a programmable macro keypad. So buy one of that. It only has eight keys, not enough. Okay, so what you want is keypads. Okay, so I have some recommendations on programmable keypads. Programmable is the important word. I have, as I showed this too many times, you can see. Do you see my keyboard? That's my system, man. So Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. I'm using as a keypad. Kinesis Advantage 2 and LF linear. So this is new. I bought 2 months ago. Red switches. Okay, so you go buy. You can see reviews and video reviews on my website. Okay, do I look good? Okay, get rid of the Cyclope. Okay, so programmable keyboard. That's why it's important. So why do you need this? Because try to get rid of any key codes. Okay. Now some people, I know a lot of people, they are a fan of the 30% keyboards. For example, all this section. Okay, can I magnify? Yeah. So where are they? So you see There. You see, Irish 54 keyboards. This strange one 52. Google 50 keys. Silver Bullet 44 keys. 46 keys. 42 keys. Google Plex 36 keys. Some people like that. So what do you do when you use one of these keyboards? Let's see. The most popular, the most famous is the Atrius. Look at this. Atrius 42 keys. So a lot of nerds of you guys love this one. So this one doesn't even have number keys, no number and no symbol key. So what do you want? What to do if you want to say press a dollar sign? Let's say $3. Okay, you have to Control Shift Alt fuck. Fuck up your fingers. But but many nerds like this. Okay, I don't like that. And get rid of many of these keyboards. They'll claim, oh, we have 10 layers, oh, we have 1,000 layers to press this symbol. You just Alt layer 2 and they fuck up your fingers. Okay, I don't like that. So buy one. So my recommendation: buy a programmable keyboard with built-in memory. So meaning that some of the popular gaming keyboards does not apply because they require you to have software and cloud and stuff. So okay, so anyway, I talked about this too many times. So you want programmable keyboard, then get a programmable keypad. Okay, so completely get rid of the key codes whenever you can. So in Emacs, for example, I use stuff like keys. As you can see in the pink window, there's almost no, do you see a control key there? Do you see a meta key there? No, they don't see. There's no. Everything is one single key press. Well, you see this, for example. You see this some control key, Control W, but actually that's because I'm using the Ultimate Hacking programmable keypad. I press one single key. That single key sends Control W. So that is why you are seeing this Control W. In fact, I don't press any combo keys. So that's enough about Emacs. Let me go on and talk about Emacs. I mean math, and that's it for today. Yeah, because I've been already talking fast for 49 minutes. Okay, I think let's talk about math. Okay, so let me read the questions, then we're gonna talk about math. Okay, if you have questions, type my name, okay, so I can see it. I'm probably gonna stop reading questions now. That's it. Yeah, because that's about it for today. So math. So the question is, how do I learn math? Okay. Well, the basic. So how do I learn math? What motivates you? How do you get motivation? Question like that, I suppose. And also, what kind of math topics interest me? Okay. So basically, the thing about math is that it's just like programming. So for example, let me explain. Okay, by way of explaining, by way of telling the story, then you'll know how I go about. And maybe you can, maybe if you are young, you want to be a mathematician or something, you can try that too. But actually, if you already decided you want to be a mathematician, you love math, you don't have that question anymore. Because actually this is a part of the fundamental answer to the question. Because for example, like programming, many of you are programmers, many of you are Emacs users, obsessed with Emacs. Why? Maybe some people will ask you, non-programmers will ask you, oh, how do you get motivated into Emacs? How do you keep learning all these algorithms? Programming languages seems so complex. How do you get the interest? What makes you to study protocols, HTTP or encryption? It's so fucking complex. How do you do it? Well, the answer is you just love it. You just want to know. You need to know. You have a need. You have the need to know what's the latest in Emacs. How do you set up? Oh, what is this guy saying? What is Xa saying about setting up? This strange, and you are into it. So then the question is, why are you into it? Then that's a bit more complex. Okay, that maybe have to do with your family, with how you grew up, and also it has to do with your DNA, your biology. So about math, let me tell you why I'm interested in math. Because so I'm kind of so why so it's kind of hard to explain. When you ask a person, why is X? Why are you interested in X? You know, it's just natural. Okay, some people become lawyers. Some people become politicians, businessmen, because they maybe probably part of the reason is because they are good at it. So for me, I like math because, well, I guess I'm good at it. I'm somewhat good, better in math. Then I'm not good at social interactions. For example, I'm not good at So if you are not good at social interactions, then maybe you are not fit for becoming a leader. Because first of all, you don't have interest in that. Because to be a leader, you often have to talk to talk to people, and you also to be a leader. There are books, seminars, which are usually scams. They teach you about how to be a businessman, salesman, or leadership. But anyway, one of the qualities to be a leadership is that you tends to be convinced, that you know better than other people. That's one of the most important uh, requirement and characteristics to be a leader type of person. We are not talking about bad leaders. I'm talking about in general. Okay, even good people, great leaders, such as what are some examples? I'm trying to avoid politicians because usually they they are not good. But anyway, I mean, even in your small team, you have a manager. Even among your friends, one guy tends to be, tell others, and others listen to him. So to be a leader, I'm digressing, but anyway, to be a leader, one of the most fundamental characteristics is that the guy believes in himself, have in other words, have high confidence. Okay, and he believes doesn't matter what issue, doesn't even matter if he doesn't know nothing, he has no knowledge about this issue, but he's firm in believing that what he knows, or what he tell others what to do, will be the better solution. So if you believe in that, you tend to be a great leader. Okay, you have to be all the time confident, even if you don't know. Even on the other hand, this is in opposition to philosophers. The one thing you must not have is to have great confidence. Okay, to be a great philosopher, because you think, oh, you already know. This should. The answer is just that. Let's do it. You are not. You are not going to be a shit. You're gonna be a worst fuck philosophers. Okay, so different personalities have different ways to go. So I'm interested in math because, well, I guess I'm good in math when I was small, and also, okay, the reason is that because mathematics, among all sciences, among all human subject matter, doesn't matter what subject, of everything, math is the only one that is, we can say, is the most well defined, and every question has only one right answer. Okay, this is the almost the this is the defining characteristics of mathematics, the subject. Okay, math is the thing among all human subject, doesn't matter, writing, literature, law, business, whatever, humanity, sociology, or whatever. Math is the most, okay, or the only subject that every question, mathematician, in math, there's only one correct answer. That is absolutely, that is a difference between math and all others, including physics. Okay, so that is a reason I'm interested in math, because and this question, and often the question can be very simple. However, to come up with the answer is extremely difficult. Also, math requires high IQ, okay, intelligence. Today, that becomes, that's the concept. IQ is not something people want to mention, but because you're gonna get canceled. But actually, that is actually, I come to realize that is actually a fundamental, very important, critical concept in human society among people. IQ, okay. Yeah, and half, IQ doesn't mean you will be great. Look at me. I'm pretty smart. Okay, there are lots of people who are far more smarter than me. Okay, especially when you do math. If you do math, you'll realize, you think you are smart. I think, I'm smart. Oh God, and also it requires a lot of study. Smart by itself doesn't do nothing. But if so, I'm also studious. Since I was, anyway, I study. But when you are in math, then you will find out, there are 10,000 far more smarter than you in math. They know far more math than you. Then they are they are mobbing toilets at McDonald's. That is true. Okay, that's what you do. That's what you get when you get into math. Math has a certain attraction, eternal attraction in human history. Okay, math doesn't get, don't be, if don't be, don't think, oh, I'll study math and you'll get your money. No, math is, the one thing you do want. If you want money, don't go into math. Okay, math, there's no money in math. Do programming. Okay, you can be a dummy, but you study programming a lot. 2 years after 2 years, you'll join Google, make a lot of money, more than professors who spend 20 years to get all the math degrees, then to become a professor. They make less money than you spend 2 years, learning programming and go work for Google. Okay, so math, don't think of, oh, math, it doesn't do nothing. It doesn't do, it's not a good financial reward. Okay, math. But however, math is such a, because, the properties I mentioned about math, it's such an eternal subject. People are not, the mathematicians, they are studying math not because money. They including me. Okay, so you study math because it's just, it's like the question about the universe. For example, common question among us: am I still alive? Guys, comment. Okay. I guess we're gonna shut down soon. Let's see. Live 1 hour. So I've been talking for 1 hour. So okay, math. Back to math. So first, I talked about IQ. Okay, IQ doesn't do you much. Okay, a lot. So you also need to study, so I want to summarize. So IQ does not, give you that much of thing. And but also you need to study, but however, you cannot just wipe out the concept of IQ, because it actually has a significant impact of human animals. Okay, I'm alive. Good. So why am I into math? Because, like I mentioned, certain, it's a thing that every question has only the correct answer. Okay, so let me tell you another thing that's attractive about math. Math is the eternal thing. Even when it has almost zero reward, financial wise or otherwise, but you find people, the most intelligent people, they just study math. Look at that Russian mathematician who won the Millennium Prize, $1 million. He declined. He's living with his mom in his mom's basement. Mom, can we go buy some eggs? He's poor, but he solved the Millennium Prize, $1 million US dollars, and he said, no, I don't want to fuck. You are not qualified to give me a award. That Russian guy. Okay, look up. I talked about that in one of my videos. I have an article on that. Where's my articles? Okay, math blog. Okay, so here is my math blog. You can find, go back to math. So I have, lots of articles on math. So there's a million. Okay. So this guy Gregory, Perelman. So he's a Russian mathematician. He declined $1 million because in math there are quite a lot strange people, quite a lot. Not just him. Okay, there's also quite a lot very strange, and they don't want money. They don't want your fucking money. And so there's eternal attraction. You attract math. So what? So for example, let me tell you. So for example, one of the questions we often ask about, the mystery of the universe. How big is the universe? Why are we here? What's the ultimate question? Does God exist? Is there a God? These questions, although usually it's answered in the area of philosophy or sciences, more, a lot of sciences, neuroscience. What is mind? What is consciousness? What is the relationship? Does a soul exist? What is a soul? So these questions, some are answered eventually, gradually answered by physics or neuroscience. You study the brain, but all these questions, how big the universe, you come back to, when you dig, you can, one way of asking these questions is mathematics, because when you try to answer these questions, inevitably you have to use logic. By the way, what is logic? Because without logic you don't have reasoning anymore. Without reasoning, you don't, why are you listening to me? Why are you talking? Why are you drinking a cup of water? You go to the kitchen, you're thirsty, you drink. How does that work? Where's the logic? Maybe you are thirsty, you go to the kitchen and you drink and you are still thirsty. Like, without logic nothing works. But what is logic? So what is logic? That is that is the deepest question in in the universe. Okay, in one way to put that, what is logic? That is the deepest question in the universe. That question, even beyond the size of the universe, the shape of the universe, the age of the universe, the whether God exists, that question is beyond those questions. What is logic? What is so who study that question? Mathematicians, okay, or more specialized logicians, because today about Haskell. They're talking about proof theory, the homotopy type theory. The Haskell people, they mention that now and then. What is that? That's study of logic. When you dive deep into logic, so why is logic? How does it work? That's math. So I hope that illustrate the attraction of mathematics, at least to me. Okay, so that's the attraction of math. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I guess that's it for today. So I've been talking for 1 hour and 5 minutes. So let's wrap up. 5 more minutes, I think. Okay, Louis says, please, at least few minutes of your thoughts about Lisp and Common Lisp. Okay, Louis, you are late. You asked that on Discord, right? Yeah. So common. So the question is, please, your thoughts about Lisp and Common Lisp as a general programming language worth learning. What's to gain? So actually, I talked about that. Let me show you where to look for that. Because I talked quite a lot. Few of my videos is dedicated to that question. Hold on a second. Okay, let me copy the URL here. Back to Emacs. Close. Keyboard block. Close, and put that here. Show today's talk show. So common Lisp. So you go to my website, go to programming, go to tutorials. Actually, not tutorials. You see this one, programming my Lisp. So on Lisp. So here is the index of articles I have related to Lisp, the programming language, and there are 2 videos I've done. I've done more than 2. The whole entire hour is talking about Lisp and programming languages. Okay, so you probably want to watch these 2. But I can answer your question. Okay, so So hold on a second. Let me copy that. Go back here, paste that. Okay, so there it is on Lisp. Okay, so basically Lisp. Okay, the I would recommend. So if you are, whether your question is whether is Lisp still worth learning, and generally my answer is no. That's probably a disappointment because I know you probably want to study Lisp. You have a lot of books on Common Lisp, especially Common Lisp. So if you are asking me, I would say no, it's not worth learning at all. Okay, okay. If you want to learn Lisp, I would say Closure. Okay, learn Closure, and you also might have a chance for a job. Okay. Now, if you are trying to learn Lisp for maybe intellectual reasons or hobby, then I would say learn Racket. Okay, Racket or Skim Lisp. Okay, Racket is part. Skim Lisp is part of Racket. Yeah, learn Racket. Okay, if you are into programming language design, programming language research, that kind of thing, for learning about programming languages. Yeah, so Racket for hobby, Closure if you are into maybe looking for a job, and maybe Emacs if you are using Emacs. Well, otherwise, other than that, Emacs is not useful at all. But if you are a fan of Emacs, if Emacs is your editor for life, then it will benefit hugely if you learn Emacs. Okay, I have a tutorial on that. So otherwise, but in general, do I recommend this? No, because today there are so many languages. If you are studying a language as a hobby, as a way to learn a new concept in programming, there's quite a lot more, a lot more. Haskell is common, popular example. Haskell, Erlang. I'm not even gonna mention because I talked about this too many times. A list of new languages. I have an article on that. Okay, proliferation programming languages. Okay, just search for that. And this is my article. Okay, proliferation of programming languages. First of all, go back here and make a link. Go back to browser, Magnify, and here, first of all, you have Lisp family throughout history. Then you have Mathematica, you have New Lisp, which is another Lisp scripting language. You have Arc Lisp, then you have Chi Lisp. Long story, Chi Lisp. I designed the logo, by the way, which Chi Lisp became Shen. Okay, you probably heard of. Then Closure, then Skim Lisp, the old granddaddy. Then you have Racket. Then you have Dylan. You have ML, Erlang, Haskell, Concurrent, Clean, Mercury, Q, OZ, Perl, PHP, Perl 6, Scala, Groovy, so on and on. So many languages. So and many of them are new, which also means they are pretty good designed. Okay, so if you are into learning new concept, there are a lot of newer ones than Lisp. It's not like 20 years ago where Lisp is the language to learn. Okay, that's my answer about that. Oh, thank you guys for the money, and that's it for today, I guess. Tech Shiboni keyboard. I don't know what's that keyboard. I gotta. Okay, I think that's it for today. 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys. See you next time.